Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Surprises about the Philippines. I first came to the Philippines, Cebu City, back in 2015. I've had 3 trips here, spent quite a bit of time here, traveled a little bit, and even though I had watched a number of videos before I came, I read a number of books and did a fair amount of research before I came. There were still many things that still surprised me. I was pretty well prepared and I was willing to learn and adapt and tolerate and just kind of blend in with the culture and experience the culture. Didn't come here to change it, although I would love to be the emperor of the world, I think, and change a lot of things, but we'll do that maybe next century. First off, friendly Filipinos. Filipinos in my case, because being male, and you'll find that 80% of my viewers are male, but I suspect the same is true for the female 20% as well. If you're a foreigner, you come here. I'm sure that the Filipinos, if you're not a friendly sort of person, they might not be. They might just kind of stand off from you, but if you're friendly, I've found that I can approach anybody, young or old, and they are willing to have a conversation with you. They seem to take a sincere interest in you. These girls were at AWHILE Mall. I walked up, I did an interview with them. I have a playlist called Interviews, and if you want to watch the interview, they are at that location. And I'm going to go through. I had a really long list when I started this, and I cut it back. I will have a bonus at the end of the video as well. As I go around, usually almost always the second question I get is, "Where's your wife, sir?" And well, I don't have a wife. Ah, give her your phone. They look at a coworker. Give her your phone number, sir. And in my case, it's usually been some 30-year-old girl. I've dated 30-year-olds and on up, 40-year-olds on up, and if you smile and say hello, it's kind of the universal language around the world. But some cultures, it's not normal to approach strangers, to talk to strangers. But here it is accepted, and in fact, they will make eye contact walking down the street. They will make eye contact with you and they will smile. You smile. If you say hello, good afternoon, they will greet you. Even the guy sleeping, laying on the sidewalk, the homeless guy. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. How are you? I've had that happen so many times. Children, anybody and everybody, and that really makes the different challenges here much more tolerable in my case, anyway. And I'm talking about regular Filipinos, not bar girls, not that type of thing. Although you can find those also, and that's going to be my second point here. Number 2, where are the neighborhood bars? Where I grew up, Minnesota. I've traveled the Midwest, lived in Arizona, Nevada, California. Every little town, 1,000 people or even less, will have a neighborhood bar. A little town I grew up in, about 100 people or less, had a neighborhood bar with a pool table. And the neighbors and the farmers, it's a place to meet. And they have some entertainment districts. They have some hotels with bars. Mango Square in Cebu City is one area. The Iloilo has one little section that has bars in it, but I don't really find the neighborhood bars. I find 7-Elevens and other convenience stores. The Filipinos will buy their beer in there and sit outside on little tables and drink their beer or take it home and drink. Some of the bars here have bar girls, and their job is to come and sit with you, take your order. If you buy them drinks, they make extra money. If you buy them drinks, that will vary depending upon where you're at. Can ring up quite a bill, but usually it's not that much. The other strange thing I've seen here is that they'll bring you a beer that isn't that cold, and they'll bring you a glass with ice in it. and I've never. I don't want water. I don't drink that much really, but I don't want watered down, melted ice in my beer. So that's something odd. Somebody told me, well, buy the bigger bottle and just get the warm bottle and just get a glass of ice with it. I don't think so. And number four, I was looking for a condo, looking for a place to live, apartment, condo, someplace to live, a house. And I was surprised at the furnished places, what my furnishings were. Uh, Usually a microwave, a rice maker, maybe that hot water kettle there, and an electrical, what do you call that? uh, I've been using, instead of those, they heat up and they hold their heat a long time. I've been using these induction cookers, and you need a certain kind of pan. Aluminum won't work on them. Ceramic won't work on, most ceramic won't work on them unless they put some kind of a metal plate in them, I think. But that's what you get. You get a one sink. You get a very small kitchen counter space in most places, not all. Very little cupboard space, and oftentimes you'll see a fairly large, small refrigerator. And I've chosen a couple of my last places partly because they had the larger refrigerator. I tend to stock up fairly well. And then continuing around along with that, not only are they different types of appliances, but they're different brands. You're not familiar with the brands, so you go out and start shopping, and you don't know about the quality of the brands, and you go shopping, and even in the stores, the grocery stores, the brands are many of the brands are not familiar to you. Many of the fruits and vegetables, different types of fruits and vegetables. Me being from the U.S., I'm used to dealing in pounds, so it took me a while to get used to kilograms. Everything is kilograms here, almost everything. So something to get used to. Texting and selfies. I think the Philippines was number one in texting for a number of years, and they're still at 1 peso, about 2 US cents per text. You can send a lot of texts, and they do. Very few people call each other here. And selfies. First girl I met spent a lot of time taking selfies. Take a picture of me. Take a picture of me. Take a picture of me. If she wasn't taking pictures of herself and her friends and uh, and texting. So that didn't last very long at all, which was good. It's good that you figure that out real quick in a relationship before you get too deep. Filipino time. I wasn't really surprised by this, but I just having experienced it myself, and more so, many of my friends have experienced it. But partly because of transportation, you never know when you can catch a jeepney. During rush hours, jeepneys are full. Might be difficult to get a hobble, a motorcycle, a taxi, different things. And many people don't want to take taxis. They're more expensive. So anyway, I know many of my friends have had dates and set up, and 30 minutes after they're supposed to meet, they contact the person and they say, "Oh, what are you doing?" Well, just washing my clothes." An hour later, checked back. "What are you doing?" "Just taking a shower." So anyway, uh, be aware, and if you want somebody to meet you on time, either wait an hour yourself, tell them when you get there, contact me, rather than going and hanging out someplace. Because it can be quite frustrating, obviously. Now, I couldn't find a good picture, so I chose this picture for this particular topic. My frustrations would be primarily in trying to get things done, trying to get a plumber to come or an electrician. Trying to get PLDT to switch took me almost 4 weeks, almost a month to get my internet transferred from one condo to another condo just a couple blocks away. Those kind of things. I've read about many Latin American countries as well. Things just take time here. Number 6, Filipino families tend to take care of their families, and I have heard over and over again, a girl or a guy working in town, working in the big city, they've got a family, they've got a wife, they've got a husband back in the province, back in the country, back home on another island even, and they're sending money. The little bit that they make, they are sending money back to their family every day. The family is raising the child. Oftentimes they'll have 1 or 2 children or more, and the mother, the auntie, whatever, somebody, the sister, the brother, they're raising the children. They'll go back once a month, once every couple of years, or once a year, something like that, depending upon how far away they are and the job that they have, what the requirements are. And even many overseas, about 10%, 10 million people, Filipinos, work overseas and send, that is a huge amount of money, billions of dollars, I think, trillions of dollars, I forget the figure, but huge part of the economy is the money that flows back in. And same thing happens, I think, in India. Many people from India send money, who travel the world, work in other parts, send money back as well. The other side of that, and I've heard it far too often, is children without fathers, without mothers. One has died, one's in prison, and they don't have any money to go to school. I've been asked a number of times, will you adopt me? Or will you, their friend, well, I have a friend, will you adopt him? And gosh, your heart just goes out to those people. There's a lot of large families here, and generally they take care of their mothers and their fathers as they get older. Also, they don't throw them into an old folks, a nursing home, like is the custom in many of the Western countries anyway. All right, and number 7, and a bit of a bonus. I'm going to link to a video I did some time ago, rushing through rush hour traffic, just to give you an idea of how crazy some of this traffic is. This is in Cebu City. It varies by city, it varies by province. Once you get out of the big cities, there is less enforcement of laws. There's very little enforcement of laws here in Cebu City, and they have been hiring more traffic enforcers, that type of thing. They've been doing more having checkpoints. There's a number of these people, they don't have a license, they don't have registration, they buy a bike and they just ride it, and probably don't even know what the rules are. You know, I had the same situation in the U.S. The last accident I was in the U.S. many years ago was a lady from Colombia that ran into me, and you know, she thought she had the right of way. She had a green light, so she turned in front of me. Well, I had a green light also, and yeah, she just totaled out her car. I had a larger car, and the insurance took care of her. Her insurance, fortunately, took care of it. But anyway, more and more as you bring in people from different countries into any nation, a lot of those people are not familiar with the laws. Anyway, you know, if you get upset, if you have a short temper when you're in traffic, you probably don't want to drive in the Philippines because it's they are tolerant. You don't get too much in the way of road rage here. But it can be trying. I tolerate it. I pretty much put up with it and enjoy the ride when I'm. This is a hobble hobble, a motorbike taxi. And anyway, I will put a link at the end of this video to that rushing to rush hour traffic. Kind of a pretty interesting ride it was, in fact. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.